All right. Welcome to Elevation Call,
Welcome, everybody. Glad you're here.
July 16th,
Some more
23.
people joining us. I want to do a quick, congratulations shout out, and we won't take a lot of time on this, but in the last week or two, we had someone on our team who had a major accomplishment, which is really, really cool. And I just want to congratulate Mary Ellen for the completion, the delivery. I don't even know what all to say, but she's got her second book completed. And where is that, Mary Ellen? Tell us what the deal is.
Well, I have two books that are being released in next month. One got officially to the printers a week ago, and the second one officially got to the printers 2 days ago on Friday. So I am super excited because now that the presses are literally rolling, that part is done. Stick a fork in me, I'm done.
Yeah, and then you post something today. It looks like you're trying to do another one on your kitchen table.
I have 3 more that are in the works right now. So the next 3 years are pretty booked with
That's so
writing,
great.
and it's exciting. I love it. It's good to be back in that groove. My heart's there, so I love
It's
it.
obvious. I mean, it's just so cool to see it from, not a complete distance, but to know your story of where you were a few years ago, where you guys are today. We're of similar age, you might say.
I like that.
I'm just saying, actually, you got a couple on us, not too many,
A
but
couple.
you are taking on life in so many ways today that it's so inspiring. And I just wanted to tell our team and all the people on this elevation call that you are living an elevated life, and it's wonderful.
Proud of you, Mary Ellen.
Thank you. And thank everybody who's been my support. A lot of people on this screen have helped to elevate me to be able to do it. So I thank you all for the support and kind words.
Yes.
Well, I love that.
And then another little group shout out or something that's kind of really cool. Christina, what do you got going on here in these days?
We are less than a week from wedding day.
That's
so yes,
awesome.
Super
excited
super.
about it. Excited about it. We leave Tuesday for the beach. Sunscreen is packed. I told Chris he is not allowed to burn before wedding day. So everybody pray that I can keep sunscreen on him so he doesn't burn.
Very, very
Just
exciting.
don't do so much you're worn out and you take a nap on the beach and just don't, you're there.
Don't make it. No, I just found my dress this week, actually. And my dress, my veil, and the bag to carry it out, $185. So
that is pretty amazing. Like,
Yes.
seriously.
So
And I
God
know
works
that was-
in crazy
It
ways.
was strategic for you because you're getting married while you guys together and separately on your own deals are really investing in launching businesses and growing businesses. So trying to get married in the middle of that and still do all of this that you're doing is so commendable, to where finding what you want for your wedding gown and veil and all that for a price that doesn't break into your other business and life stuff. Just, that's being smart about how you do these things, and just want to, that's congratulations on that.
And also wanted to say shout out to Lorena and Jean for getting Kimberly Porter on Elevation Call, one of their new team members. And really, it's a wonderful thing to bring Kimberly into our team. You have an amazing group of leaders and a platform that you're going to be learning more and more about. And just like recognizing Mary Ellen and Christina, we do life together, and we elevate each other and lock arms and become better people while we help people get healthy and create an additional stream of income. So welcome to Nikki and Roger. And it looks like Mary just joined us, and Wendy
And Deborah and Shelley
Marcia.
and Karen. We hadn't called all the people that were on here. So we're going to take just a few minutes tonight in our elevation time of this call to be kind of informal, but I need y'all's participation on this, in part because, frankly, Lisa and I have been we've been going really hard at doing some things for for about 3 different businesses at this time. Our nonprofit we've been going pretty hard. I have at that. Lisa's holistic nurse coaching. And then also the Zalise business that pretty much everyone on this call is in some way connected with. And making some really great strides in every one of these. Every one of them. It seems as though we're doing some really good things are happening. And synergistically, all these things are happening. And part of it is because I would say that Lisa and I continue to grow into who we are, what we love, being who we are more fully, and kind of embracing that and stepping into it and becoming more of that. And that's our experience. And do you want to say anything more on that? Just a little bit of that we're just becoming more of who we are, because that's going to be the topic of conversation tonight.
Well,
So,
even just like Mary Ellen, being an author and a writer is a huge part of who she is. And so having the freedom to pursue that part of her, for me, it really was holistic nurse coaching, which is what I have done for years and years, just didn't know what to call it. And so absolutely.
And let's just use another person we've talked with and to tonight, Christina. I didn't know her probably a year and a half ago, maybe. I don't know how long it's been since you've been running hard, but this woman is so full of energy and positivity. Like, she's so positive and so full of energy. And it is so natural for her, it seems, to be able to have a lot of balls in the air at the same time, you might say. She's really good at that. And a lot of people say, oh, you're so busy, you should do this, you should do that, get more focused, whatever. But I think she very naturally is able to be all the different things that she is. And that's embracing who she is. Other people are more maybe contemplative and, more focused on one thing, and that's fully who they are, and they don't need to try to be someone else. I really think that's what the topic tonight is: embracing who you are and improving who you are, or becoming the better version of you, and not having to be something that you're not. And the difference between taking on the challenges to be the best version of you without having to take on really something that you're not, and to become the best of that. And so we're not going to teach on that. I would like to ask you all for just a few minutes to take some time to share your own experience with that in ways that you've done it. And I don't want you to be shy about it unless you are shy and you just want to be quiet, if you want to be a listener. But if you're a person who thinks, I can share on this for a minute, I'll share on this. So anyway, I'm asking you guys to kind of run this, because in the second half of this call, we're going to talk a lot. So we'd rather not talk so much in the first part.
Who wants to share?
We've never done this on the elevation call before, but we're trying to take a little break. So yeah, go ahead.
No, actually, I was thinking, I never really used to think about what other people were thinking when I was talking to them, but now I'm kind of watching their body language more, and I kind of understand, like, if they're having a bad day or something like that. So, I guess I'm growing by watching other people.
Good.
That's great.
That's
Gene.
a great example. So thank you for taking the lead, Gene, for the whole group and giving us a really good example of what we're talking about. So that's the kind of thing we're talking about, or having you talk about.
Well, actually, I think I'm trying to listen more. That is my word this year, to listen more and talk less, which is really difficult for me, as you know. But I'm trying to do that, and I am finding it is really interesting and sometimes frustrating for me. But I am who I am, and I don't try to present myself to be anybody else. And I love watching the different people and knowing that I don't have to know everything, that I go, okay, this person knows more than I do about this. And so let's let them take the lead. You know, Mary and Lisa are good at those things. And then there's things that I'm telling Jean, you take the lead on this because you have that centered. He's always been that phlegmatic, laid back guy. And I'm going, okay, we need this laid backness, you know, so you take the lead on that. So I'm coming in on that and I'm about to cough. So, yeah, so that's kind of something else. So
Exactly what we asked for. Thank you, Lori. So
welcome.
Well, I'm going to say that I'm loving your rabbit. So they're making all kinds of little stuff over there. That's so cute. But today, my daughter and I were talking about things that as an 85-year-old, you know, excelling is one thing. Just being balanced is all I can do. I have to be balanced. And we were talking about being balanced. And I said, how do we balance between this child and that child and this birthday party and all of these things? How do we balance it? And so that's why we had a big birthday party this weekend for a 1-year-old. And sometimes I feel like I'm just not getting very balanced. But the things that I do, I love, like going to the pool, because this time last year, it's been a year since I fell. And I know that I would probably be in a wheelchair at a birthday party this year if I hadn't done what I did, you know, and thanks to Lisa and support from all my children. But balance to me is, I'm trying to really get my life more balanced. Does that make sense? And with what's going on with the lease right now, I'd like to be able to get that into the balance. I love the product. I use the product. I'm on the board a lot because I buy a lot of product because I use it. And but I'm anxious to try to get that in the balance of my life. Does that make sense?
yeah, that's a good point.
Absolutely.
I think a lot of people identify with that, especially those with, 25 grandkids like you have.
14 great grandkids. Kind of hard to balance that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Every 1-year-old birthday party anyway. So
You're a great
that's-
Solis
thank you.
spokesman,
So
though.
that's another great example of a person who at 85, which is different than when she was 45, what the best version of herself was then, different set of circumstances today. At 45, mom wouldn't have thought how important it was to be in the pool because she was still running kids around and just starting grandkids. But being in the pool for her is like super important to be the best version of herself because she needs to get that exercise in and that movement in. So that's what we mean. And doing that with balance and everything else in life. And so another great example. So anyone else for the next person up?
Okay, I'll say something because Carol's yelling at me from across the room. And she pointed out to me that I have a need to help people. And that's true. I like to be helpful to people. But what I've found recently is that I can take my skills that I was good at in corporate America and take those and try to help people with that. So, I've also unfortunately learned a lot about the medical system lately, not from a Lisa and Mary Ellen standpoint, from a poor, pitiful person caught in the middle of it standpoint. And so, yeah, I saw Judy's unmuted. Yeah. And so, because I'm not the one in the hospital bed and I'm not the family, maybe the family member, but not the closest person to it. Sometimes it gives me an ability to listen more objectively and be very helpful to people. And that's something that I've learned about myself this year and have really grown. And a lot of it through you guys' teaching and some of the books you've recommended, stuff like that, really grown to accept and try to embrace is maybe a good word.
Thank you, Susan.
Another great example.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
There's Judy.
Hi. Okay. I have spent the time that I've been in Zalise beating myself up for the fact that I can't be a business builder. I'm just not good at it. And I have recently accepted the fact that I spent 28 years as a teacher. I'm a teacher. I'm not a businessman. And so I'm starting to dig more into the paperwork and the science and the information behind. So when I hear people say, oh, this hurts or that hurts, or I'm having trouble, I'm more able to step up and say, I think I could help you with that. And if I can talk them into, I show them the information and try to help them, then that's the direction I'm going. And I'm feeling more comfortable with that.
So awesome.
Big business builder, but I'm trying to push people into knowing more about Zalise.
So I hope we have this recorded.
Yes, we are.
I'm glad we got it recorded. So all of you are sharing genuinely your life and where you are. But what was just said is what I, in my part of helping lead Zalise forward and really not just the whole industry of direct selling and people creating income and helping other people in different ways. We're really in a place right now where I believe we're presenting and proposing some things that are genuinely potentially, like, I want to say world changing, maybe, but definitely industry changing. And it's when people say things like what you all have said, but especially what Judy just said, that's like right in the heart of what we are addressing. And so, and you're saying that from the hospital in Atlanta, I think, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And with a family member that's,
Yeah,
there,
not me. Yeah.
right, not you, but a family member.
Yeah, you look too good to be a patient,
Yeah.
Judy. Just saying.
Thank you.
But that's another one of those balance things and being who you are. But but here you are on this call, and you're not a whole end business builder. That's the point. But you're on this call, and that's why we do this elevation call for all of these things.
Really great point.
Thank you.
Does anybody else want to share before we transition? Marcia, is that you? Are you waving your hand?
I just want to say that I agree with absolutely everything everyone up to me has said about balance and self-care and learning to listen and knowing your place in this journey, because just like Judy, I have been listening to the Bo Short, all of his training, and in my gut, I just still feel like I'm a teacher and an educator. I'm a nurse, but an educator as far as I think the science behind this is, to me, the most important thing.
Yeah.
Because if you can get people to understand the science and the value of the product, then eventually, they may become business builders. But the approach for me is not to get someone to sign up to build a business. It's just not natural. So I've been working on that this past week, trying to figure out, my place in this in the very few
Marcia,
short months.
do you feel comfortable kind of telling everyone kind of what you've been working on, just because of the conversation that we had?
You mean the scripts?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've been trying to design a script that I feel comfortable with, that I can say primarily to people that I know well. And it's hard because this stuff isn't really in my wheelhouse, but I'm trying it and I'm doing it. But it's still, I just feel like the main thing I'm learning too is just trusting the process. Like it's gone before me. And, when you step into these shoes, it's like, you just have to trust that the process is there and it's established. And, depending on how hard you want to work at it, you can strive for anything, really. And that's
Beautiful.
it, I think.
So
Thank you, Marcia.
Thank you, Marcia. So taking what she just said, imagine for a minute that you have been asked to be a part of raising funds for something in the community in which you live that impacts so many people, and people are so really, it just needs to happen. And you truly believe that it needs to happen. I mean, if it doesn't happen, whatever this thing is in your city, this nonprofit, this need to raise funds kind of thing, and there's an appeal, let's say by the mayor or a community leader to you that says, we desperately need for citizens in this community to make contact and to reach out to people outside this community to help us. We really need that. So some people would have to have a script when they call people. They would literally have to say, I don't know what to say to people, but I believe that I want to do everything I can to contribute to this need in this community that I love. And I've been asked to do it, and I'm going to step up and do it. Other people might be gung-ho about it, but they find that they're getting nowhere. They're talking to people and they're talking, but they're not getting any support. They're not making anything happen for the community. And so, that's taking it out of what we normally talk about. But the same principles of personal growth and being who we are can be applied to any cause that you believe in where there's a need, how to do it better, how to really serve the cause, whatever it is. And so we believe that when we, like our nonprofit, for example, that we're developing for a need really all over the country, but we got to start here at home with it. And we're really having to learn how to do this. And so we have to be not only the best version of ourselves, but we have to take on, like, I've never operated with a board of directors before. My dad did my whole life. He was on board after board after board after board of all kinds of businesses and hospitals. He had a board at the bank and all that. I've never been a part of a board. And yet we need a board of directors for us to successfully and safely, appropriately create this nonprofit for it to be everything that it needs to be. And so we have to grow in that. And I have to be a better version of myself and learn some new things. So I hear my girls coming in, speaking of that. So I'm about to go be a dad for a second and be the best version of that I can be. Hey. Hi, Sarah.
All right.
How are you?
Anybody else want to share? Marcia, thanks again for those comments. Anybody else want to share on that last comment before we transition over to kind of our Zalise business portion? Oh, is that Melissa?
One of the things that I am learning with Zalise is being able to share my own story with how it's helping me, and then trying to advocate for the 5-year-old that Chad and I have. He has behaviors and different things that we're learning about that we have recognized throughout his life, but we've now become able to, we became legal guardians of him this past Monday, finally. Huge blessing there. But now we can actually advocate for getting him help that he needs. And the thing we want most, we want to try to be able to use Zalise, to help him, as opposed to drugs that, the doctors try to put him on. Hold on, honey.
I'm talking to the doctor.
And in this way, once we get him help, then we'll be able to freely be in meetings and And then we can also tell how it helped him. But me personally, it has helped me. I have rheumatoid arthritis, and there's times that I've been in so much pain, I absolutely refuse to take any of the pain meds that they will give you. And I've been in so much pain at times at night that my hands just hurt. I'd be in tears, just in tears. And so the CBD and CBG that I've been taking really helped me to be able to start cooking, journaling. And when I say journaling, I'm actually writing, not just, typing on the computer and things. And so I'm cooking more and everything, and actually having a lot more ability to, do things and play games with Dax and things that I wasn't able to do. And I had run out for a few days and I was just, it was killing me. But we got our product again Saturday. And since then I'm feeling a lot better. And today I was doing a lot of cutting up of vegetables and all kinds of things and mixing and using my hands a bunch. Yes, throw it away. And all kinds of, different things, folding clothes. And I've been using my hands all day, and they hurt a little bit, nothing like they did before. And I'm telling everybody how well it's making me feel, and not necessarily saying to them, hey, you got to get on board here. Just being a walking, talking testament of the product.
That's fantastic, Melissa. And let me just ask you a question, not to put you on the spot. How did you know about Zalise? Who reached out to you to tell you?
Well, my husband Chad works with, on occasion he works with Michael Blair. They aren't normal partners. After a while, okay. They're not usual partners at Davis Community Hospital on their ambulance. And it just so happens the stars aligned, right? It was all God. And Michael talked to him about it, and Chad had let him know that I had used CBD oil, another brand, and I really wasn't having good luck. It was some luck, but not, as good a luck. And of course, Chad, brought me into it. We sat in on a Zoom, an opportunity meeting, and listened to Amelia and Michael talk about it. And it was like, get us signed up, and we wanted to try it and everything. And that's how we jumped into it.
It's mine.
Okay.
And then I'm on that.
You got a helper there.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, most
You've met-
definitely.
you've met
Dad's
him
at work
before.
tonight, so.
Well, thank you for sharing your story, and also your little guy there.
Thank you.
And it's I love hearing these stories. And I think, in the 7 years that I've been with this company, Zalise, it's those stories that most touch my heart. And knowing that my son was just the first one that I knew of that had that kind of an impactful story. And I think once that happens to you, Melissa, you feel a responsibility to really share it with others. So awesome.
You ready to
Yes.
jump
Yeah.
into Zalise?
Yes.
All right. Well,
Great
so let's
transition.
transition right straight into our leaderboard and recognizing the Zalise part of our elevation call, primarily focused totally on Zalise now. Recognizing leaderboard for this month. Here we are on the 16th.
Right.
16th,
Mhm.
right. And for the month on the leadboard, I don't know if y'all noticed, but the leaderboard, I don't know if you'll ever watch it. Or
Do you
y'all
guys
just-
watch the
who watches
leaderboard
the
at all?
leaderboard at all? Pays any attention to it?
A couple of y'all do.
Well, who does?
Raise your hand.
Mary Ellen does. Kristen. Okay, Deborah.
Yeah.
Is that who is that? Is that
That's Wendy.
Wendy?
Wendy.
I can't
Wendy's
see.
been on it.
Wendy's hair looks different. It's darker.
It looks great, Wendy.
Look at that.
Look at
I
you,
don't even
girl.
recognize you. I was like, who is that?
That's East Coast Wendy.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right. Well, East Coast Wendy. That's why I didn't recognize it. Anyway, so I would imagine that most of the people who are watching the leaderboard, one, either just curious and you've been told, hey, do this, or you're looking for your name on there because you know you've been doing some work. Right, Judy Baker? She's been on the leaderboard. Anyway, so the leaderboard on enrollments this month, there's a lot in Colombia. I'm like, what is going on in Colombia right now? But a lot of people on the leaderboard, the top 25, a lot in Latin America, but we have several people so far on the leaderboard. Kristen Olander in Georgia at number 12. Woohoo, woo woo. And
KO, baby.
Christina Durham, who is planning a wedding, getting all set up and all that. And she's on the leaderboard because she's a leader. And then she's at number 8. And then Hal and Lisa are at number 2. So you would think at some point we would stink and run out of people to introduce this to. No, the world is full of people looking for what we got. You know, the world is full of people. There really is. And sometimes we, like you're doing right after this call, you're going to enroll somebody who I shared the business, and it's really not the business, shared the science with this man, his wife, and their 22-year-old son on Friday night. Friend of mine. So fairly new friend in the last year. So anyway. So we may jump up to number 1 by next week. Who knows?
The goal.
So anyway, you're not bragging on us. I'm just saying that's every day, every week for us. So that's that. And then on the volume, which is personal volume. Now, Mom already mentioned earlier, she's on the leaderboard for volume because she orders a lot of products, because she uses a lot of products. But I'll also say that my mom is also an ambassador, in other words, she shares her health story. She shares the benefits of our products with others, you know, not every day, but she definitely does it on a regular. So she has products available to share with other people or sell to them. So here we are. She's at number 23 again.
Woo.
So there you go. Number 23 on the.
Go Helen.
And the further you go into the month on this one, especially, because you can get on the leaderboard earlier in the month just because your auto ships early and you have several products. But on this one, the longer you're on the top leaderboard, by the end of the month, everybody's normal auto ship is shipped out. And so it really does mean that you have a lot of volume or you're doing something with it. So Wendy Lee, who's on the call tonight.
East Coast Wendy.
Wendy at number 17.
Nice job, Wendy Lee.
And then Mary Rising at number 8. And I had a brief conversation with her this week. I said, do you realize you're on the leaderboard almost every month? And that was pretty cool. And then Wright Parkway Dental, which is Susan Welch. And so in Fort Walton.
Yeah.
So dentist down there. And they move these products very systematically in their practice. And so they're a great example of someone who has a very specific day-to-day business practice that they do. And they've incorporated these products and kind of retail them within the protocol of their actual dentistry. So how many of y'all, okay.
I was going to also ask Wendy Lee. Wendy, I know I'm putting you on the spot, but would you tell us just kind of what your business is and what you're doing when you're ordering Zalees products?
Yeah, I run a hormone clinic. I'm a clinical pharmacist doing a hormone clinic. And so I meet with patients, go over their hormones and come up with recommendations for their doctors. But a lot of times they have other issues that are not always hormone related. So sleep. I've been selling a bunch of Ultra Dream, started doing some Ultra Edge. So people are liking it.
So again, Wendy is another example, and we've got a lot of examples on this since she's here, an example of someone who, like the teachers that talked earlier, you know, they're kind of going to be the best version of themselves within Zalees and how that fits. They can expand that over time, but they're focused right now on how do I be the best version of who I am? And so in my opportunity that fits me, same with Wendy, you know, she's not gonna quit what she's doing to do this at the moment, but she's incorporating it. And she has a unique opportunity to do that within her store, like at the dental practice with Dr. Welch and their sponsor, Dr. Todd. But that doesn't mean that Gene Workmeister is going to quit his job there in St. Louis to open up a shop so that he can dispense all kinds of stuff in pharmaceutical for hormone therapy and adds lease to it. It doesn't mean he's going to go start working on my mouth and filling cavities in my mouth and helping me with that kind of stuff, dental health. He's not going to do that tomorrow. He's going to do it as he goes throughout his day, where he is, being who he is, the best version of himself. And so anyway, that's how you get on the leaderboard. That's how you do this, is be the best version of yourself where you are. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that here in just a minute. So,
Well, and just on that note, I don't know if you guys noticed, but last night we tried to do a little bit of a Facebook Live from Team Unlimited. Anybody notice that? It was a
it
little
was a
grainy.
massive failure.
It was a little, oh, just the videotaping on my part was a little bit of a massive failure. I was trying to keep it quiet so that Hal didn't really see me sneaking in the room. But some of you guys might have had your curiosity up just a little bit. And so I wanted to kind of tell you a little bit of a story as to why last night was very significant for me. And so we live in a community with about 500 different homes here in Northwest Arkansas. And during the pandemic, it was just a non-functional POA, like the group of homeowners. And so as we had our first meeting, they were asking, like, who wants to be on this committee and who wants to be on that committee? And there's a committee called hospitality, which, as you can imagine, is just to welcome new people in the neighborhood. And how many of you guys know how much I like to bake cookies? Anybody like, I'm not as good as Judy Baker. That's my aspiration, but I love to bake. And so I thought, that'd
When
be
your
kind
name's Baker, you should
my,
bake.
that's right. But I thought, that sounds like something I could do. I'm busy, but I get to meet new people. And so hospitality, I signed myself up for. Well, they sent an email out, and one of our, lives in our neighborhood, one of the city council people who has a leadership role in the POA, she dropped a box off with just some random things in it. And she's like, hey, you can put this in the hospitality package that you're going to give to all the new neighbors. Like, there's like this list of rules, things that you're supposed to do. And then she sent me this very long Excel spreadsheet that I had no idea how to read, and like who was moving in and who was leaving. And so I was like, I signed up for something that nobody gave me any instructions on how to do it. There was no group of people to really help advise us. And I wasn't really sure, in the 500 names on the Excel spreadsheet, who's new, who do I need to try to drop a gift off of? And so just to summarize, I was an epic failure on the hospitality committee. Somebody who loves people. I love to bake. I made 0 cookies. In fact, I did nothing. I just was overwhelmed with all the information, none of which made sense to me. And so today I was vacuuming in our office, and I ran into the box of random things that was dropped off on my door. And I'm like, it's just a reminder that I'm a failure at hospitality. And nobody ever followed up with me. So they don't know that I haven't really contacted anybody, that I haven't dropped that box of random things off on anyone's door. But it made me think of why last night was significant for me. Is because for some of us who've been on this Zalise journey, we really feel like we were set up for something that we didn't do to the best of our ability. That our work, that what we produced, the number of people that we contacted, the number of people that we really were able to create a product experience for, didn't reflect the best of who we were. And there were a lot of reasons for that. Can anyone relate to that at all? And in fact, there were times that we felt like we had failed in the mission. And in hindsight, there were some very real reasons for that. Obviously the pandemic didn't help, and there were leadership issues as well that very much affected Hal and me, and Steve and Jenny and some of the other leaders that are on this team. But that hospitality box made me think about how all of us may feel, because really we were kind of given a system that didn't work for most people. And so what Hal and I have had truly the privilege and responsibility to do is to be sought out by the new re-engineered Zalise to give feedback on a vision for the future. And what Hal did last night was deliver that vision. And honestly, it was the most beautiful presentation that I it was creative. It was insightful, and he had some really, really great, very new ways of creating success for all, respecting and honoring the differences that we have between different people. And I was going to ask, first of all, I wanted to say thank you, Hal, because he did it all himself. I didn't, honestly, I'd never seen the presentation before. And then he had the courage to invite at least 6 people to hear the presentation who also had felt like they had not achieved what they had hoped. Some of them were not even on auto ship anymore. Some of them were still kind of hanging on, but to hear the vision of a re-engineered Zalise, and every single one, I mean, it was just a beautiful night. I wish that we could have shared it with everyone, but Hal, would you want to share just a few words about that experience?
Sure. And I would share more and look forward. I think the next elevation call, which will be 1st of August, we'll be able to talk a lot more about this. I would not have done what I did last night if I didn't really truly believe that there was a high probability that what I put together in how you make money in this business, the assignment for me was not to come up with a new product. Okay. The assignment for me was not to go out and find the next new thing of products. The assignment for me was, which is my passion. So, part of what Lisa asked y'all, and several of you raised your hands, was, how many of you have experienced knowing you have a great product, you know what it does for people, but it felt like a failure in being able to communicate the product. And that's a big part of what people feel. It's like, this is so important. I understand it, but I just can't even make an appointment for anybody to listen to me and that sort of thing, to share the information about the ECS or the hemp, whatever you're trying to share. That's so important. And almost everybody raised their hand. Well, the other side of that for me is that I am focused on and have always been focused on, and it's because I needed it so badly at the time that I met Lisa, not only the product, but I needed to make money. I needed to make money. It wasn't a matter of I want to make money. I needed to make money and make it significantly and for it to grow and build. And I really believed at that time that the way the company is built and the industry that I was kind of resistant to had a good chance for people to make money. And so, the other side of the product is the pay. It's like, this is a 2-part deal here, and so when you're frustrated with both, and I'm not going to ask y'all on the finance part who's been frustrated with that, because I think every single one of you would raise your hand. Every one of you would, for different reasons on the financial part and the earnings. So what they ask us, actually, they didn't ask us to do what I did last night. What they ask us to do is say, take what you've been asking corporate to consider to do, to restructure, re-engineer the way we get paid and how we get paid, and basically the whole lot of the money side of this. I've been knocking on their door for months saying, please, please, please listen to us. And then when Stephen left, when I knocked on the door, they opened the door. And they said, tell us what you have been saying to him, that you've not had an opportunity to be heard. And so I began to share the vision of what I thought we needed to do. And it's been about 2 months of constantly taking to them some concepts and changes that Lisa and I talk about a lot, but frankly, it truly has been my vision of how we can make things better financially for everyone, and to recognize the differences in people, and that not everybody comes into this business, frankly, like I did, either so desperate to have to make money with a skill set that could be applied to making money, or just ready to go like a Bo Short. I think a lot of you, and I've talked to a number of you, I want to tell you that I believe that what Bo is giving, if you will listen without feeling bad about yourself, if you'll just listen to the principles and the belief that he has, and you don't feel like you have to be him or you have to be us, but you can be yourself when you listen, I think you'll listen with a whole new set of ears. And I'm not trying to defend Bo and his message. It's a challenge, but I will tell you, it's coming from a heart that truly wants the best for all of us. Even when I talk sometimes, I can be pretty aggressive in the way I put things out there, and that's out of love for people. Had a conversation last night as one of our people was leaving, and I asked her a couple of questions going out the door that were pretty straight up questions. but they needed to be asked, I think, for her sake, just in her own personal life. And it was done in love. And so what I was asked to do is, Hal, take what you've been sending to us, giving to us, that we've been working together to build, and actually put it into a presentation so that we can see it. And they didn't ask me to do a meeting. They asked me to do it tomorrow, like to the two primary people at corporate. And so I thought, dang, I got to get this together, like presentable, because there was a lot of ideas with it, but I'd never put it into one place where I thought I got 20, 30, 40 minutes, whatever, deliver the new parts of the compensation plan that will take into consideration that some of you want to be like us, but you're not there yet. And maybe you see so far of a gap between, you just want to be yourself and still be successful. And you don't have this kind of time we have, or just all these things, it's just everyone being who they are. And that's part of my message to them is, please value who people are, where they are, and to be the best version of themselves. And then blend that together in a program and a pathway that recognizes that not everybody who signs up on day one is ready to go in the next 30 days and build this business really fast. And so they asked me to put that into some form that's workable, that they can work with. And so that's what I'm supposed to do tomorrow at 2:30, live, like do a presentation to corporate. And I thought the only way I can do this, and this is me being me, okay? This is me being me. I thought, I can't talk to a blank room. I can't talk to a microphone. I can't talk to a camera. I need the energy and interaction of other people. I just won't do a good job. I know I won't if I'm just talking to a camera for 30 minutes. You know, like record this information. I wanted it to be me. And so what I did was on Friday night, I called my mom, I called the Plumleys, I called people who live here close, called some people who have been out of the business for a while. I called my daughter's best friend, going to be 18 next week, and said, would you come and make some food for us? And I just said, please come. I need some people in the audience so I can talk to you, so I can have some feedback, you know? And they showed up. And so I did that presentation. I recorded it. I sent it off to them, to corporate today, after I learned how to upload a Vimeo, which I'd never done before. So I'm telling you all this to say, I'm very excited about it. I think I recruited my wife into my business is what I did. It was that good. And I listened to it. Lisa's like afterwards, she goes, this was really good. And it was a great feedback from everybody. And I'm going to tell you, we got 2 people from that to get back on auto ship last night at the end. Now, you may say that's no big deal. I said, no, that was a big deal, because they didn't do it because they were like hearing this for the first time. They got back on auto ship because they had hope again, like hope that this fits me. What just happened? Oh, anyway, our screen went blank. So, you know, I don't know if and I told them, and I'm telling y'all, I don't know if they're going to do it. I really don't. I hope they do. But I am trusting that when I said to them, guys, I'm telling you, if you tell me to do this, I'm going to run it at 100%. Not for us, but for our team. I'm not going to run at this and do this, and then you take it away when I put it in there. So it may not be exactly like I created it, but they've given me the green light to help us change Zalise in the future. So, gosh, can you tell I'm excited about it?
Yeah. And here's the thing, you guys, we have some tools right now because the comp plan can't be changed yet. And that's because of the divorce that's going on between Steve and Angie. And so until that's done, they can't change the comp plan. So what they've done is they've created some short-term promotions. This month, I think that the jump start's the best thing that's ever happened. I don't know about you guys, but to be able to jump in, buy wholesale. Yes. Anybody else like the jump start?
It's awesome. $99. Get a product, get started. Yeah.
Marcia will appreciate this. I think of it as a stem cell. Like when you get somebody in with a jump start, Hal thinks of it as a seed, but I think of it as like those jump starts, you don't know what they're going to be. All we want to do
Doesn't even matter.
It doesn't matter. You just want to get them in, get them on product, give them a product experience, and stay close. Teach them how to use it. But I think the jump start is the best thing that they have ever come up with. And then maybe only eclipsed by the buy glow, get shield free
No,
auto ship.
Jumpstart's better.
Do you think Jumpstart's better?
Absolutely, 100%.
Anyway, so those two things, and also the promotions that are going on right now, which shout out to Christina. She's already got her $50 going on more. Yeah. And then Kristen Olander, where's Kristen?
She's right there.
Kristen, congratulations. She's already got her $50 because if you enroll too with Jumpstart, then you get an extra $50, and that is significant. We helped one of a business owner that I work with in nurse advocacy allowed me to present on Tuesday night, the endocannabinoid science. I'm going to offer that to our entire team, that same presentation. Write it down, July 25th, 7:00. It's going to be an endocannabinoid science presentation. We were able to enroll her, the CEO, and several of the nurse advocates because they want to have their own account.
So can I say what I'm excited about? So she enrolled for $99, got her bottle of hemp. I don't know what she got. The CEO did. After that presentation, Lisa said, do you mind if I place people under you if they call me? And she's like, no, go for it. So here's the deal with the special this month. That CEO who signed up last week, I don't even know that she's got her product yet. Does she have it?
She started.
Anyway, she started it, but she's going to get $10 for each one of those jump starts. Okay. Which is the fast start pay for enrolling people. $10 each for the $99 kit. But because there's a promotional this month and those add up to the amount that reaches the $50 bonus. So for her $99 enrollment, she gets $50 plus 10 and 10. So she's getting 70 out of her $100 spent. And she hadn't done anything but say yes to Lisa. So that's the power. Now that's not the way it's going to be for everyone, but that's the power of the 99 and the value of everybody can afford 99. Let me let y'all in a little secret. $99. Last night in the presentation, I didn't do this because my daughter wasn't here. She's 17. She's the one just came in. Last week, because she's got 5 summer jobs. All right. Which is impressive, right? 17, she wants her own money and so forth. She has 5. Well, the other day I came in and I knew she just finished one job. She got paycheck on it. She holds up her hand like this, 5. I said, what, your 5 jobs? She goes, no. And I said, what? She said, 5. Look, I mean, she was holding her hands up and I go, what? And then I noticed that she had these brand new white fingertips with a blue tip. And I go, oh, your fingernails. She had just got back from the salon parlor. And I go, those are beautiful. She goes, yeah, you like them? I go, yeah. I go, how much were those? She said $110. And I was like, you have 5 summer jobs so that you can spend $110 on fingernails as a 17-year-old. And then it hit me. $99 you can get in a business with Zalise and change the world for $99. And I'm like, what's the deal? And it's really true. And I'm telling you, part of our presentation that I've presented to them is we can build this thing big time with $99 entry. 99, 99, 99, 99, 99, 99, 99. Now, other kits are available and that's in the presentation, but now we don't know if they're going to go with it. I think they're going to, but anyway, so did I tell enough? Did I say what you wanted to say?
Thank you so much. Yeah. But here's the kind of the takeaway is you guys, let's see if we can get some extra cash, because if we participate in these promotions right now, they will continue them.
Yeah.
And that means until we can actually physically change the compensation plan, this is the way for you guys to get paid for your work.
So they can't change the compensation plan until all that's worked out, like Lisa said, but they can do promotions and they can make it better for us with promotions. So that's why you're seeing them do a lot of promotions to help us get some more money. Anyway, we're very excited. I like the hope for y'all, for people. If we're able to do this, I would not be surprised. Honestly, I've said this many times that a year from now, people will be running to Zalise because of our products and our compensation plan, and how we help people earn. I mean, really help people earn. And so we'll see what happens. But anyway.
So you guys, I want your feedback on one other item. How many of you guys have been on a freedom call over the last couple of weeks? I would love to hear your comments on just, Bo and Cindy and Luis and the trainings that they've done on freedom calls and also some of the other special calls.
Hey, Lisa, this is Steve and Jenny. One thing that I love about all of those is the energy. The energy is incredible. We haven't had that energy, and I love that.
That's awesome. And Jenny, I want to shout out to you and Steve for all the hard work you're doing with the Ultra Dream launch in Europe and all the calls that you guys have coordinated with different time zones. You guys just silently lead and serve this team, and we want to recognize you.
And really the whole all Zalise in Europe. Steve has been a major, and Jenny has too, because she's such a support, but Steve has done such an incredible job with the launching of Dream, which came up pretty quick. But I mean, last I heard, they had kind of almost sold out and having to reorder to get it going. It's really done.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, the couple from Sweden, they're in the founder position anyway, but they wanted to order, they're looking at sponsoring another founder, and she was to get 33 bottles of Dream, but they only had 20 to give her because they were out of stock.
Wow, you guys sold that out.
They just sold it out. And so congratulations, because Steve really does a great job. And I will tell you that the Dream over there, people need it over here. It's just, they're so hungry for having things like this over there, and they don't have much. And so they just jumped on it, and we take things for granted here. We really do. In a lot of ways, we take it for granted. So
Anybody, thank you,
else about
Jenny.
the
Anybody
freedom
else
call?
Feedback on freedom calls or the trainings with Bo and Luis?
I would like to.
Yes, Kristen.
Okay, thank you. I ditto with Jenny on the energy, but what I like is the fact that it was written about business of the 21st century, and now it's being delivered to us, and we're just getting this next elevated layer of what we really need to put those tools in. So it's not just the youth, it's the experience of much, so that we can really get to that place. And I was reminded of that book that we learned about many years ago. Remember, Business of the 21st Century?
Yeah, absolutely.
You're having it now. So, and I love the fact that it's so bulleted and educational, so that it's we can easily take notes and then action. So yeah.
Fantastic.
Thank you for all you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you, Kristen. Yes.
I like it.
Mary, did you have a comment?
Yeah, I've really appreciated, especially with all the life that keeps happening. And to hear somebody that successful sit there and basically, when he started talking about how he felt so out of his comfort zone and awkward and was very comfortable in different settings, but then when he would try to explain what he needed to explain for a presentation, he was all tongue-tied, basically. I'm like, whoa, thank you for explaining that too, because that gave me I don't know, it's just validation that, yeah, I'm not the only one who does this, because some people can make it look so good and so easy. And I've had to do so many hard things in my life, but I still feel very awkward a lot of times doing this. And I feel like I'm getting tools for it, even though I know that the teacher in me recognizes it real quick, the way he's presenting. He's spirally teaching us to go up and through the presentation. He starts a little bit and then he goes around, he gives it to us again, a little bit different level, a little bit different way, to make sure that we're getting it all the way. And he does that. He's getting increasingly better at it each week. He's been doing it, but it's easier to grasp. It's easier to feel comfortable with things. It's not so much pressure to perform like there was with the old administration, so to speak. It's more like reach out again, which is more natural for me.
Awesome.
And I really appreciate it.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Mary.
Mary.
If I could figure out how to lower my hand, I'll be okay.
No, you're
good.
fine. You're
good.
fine,
Don't worry
girl.
about it. We got you. Anybody else? We're kind of running up on the top of the hour.
I was gonna say it's nice to be able to jump on the freedom call, and it doesn't feel stagnant. It doesn't feel like every week's the same thing. When you come on, it's something new, and it's a new concept to grasp, and it really leads you down a path where you feel like you can do this business from multiple angles. Now it's not just one way of teaching, and I really, really enjoy that.
Thank you, Christina. And if you guys have any suggestions or recommendations for future topics, they're very, very open and love to get feedback.
So I'm going to give one that I've heard from 3 different people, and I'm going to give my response to that. So I've heard from 3 different people that it feels like that Bo loves us and wants the best for us, but at the same time is like a parent feeding too much food to the kid at one time.
Do you want anything from Culver's?
It goes so fast. It goes so fast. People cannot keep up with it. So with that happening, what I have suggested, so it's frustrating. People's like, he goes so fast. I wish he'd slow down. Please slow down. Please slow down. Please slow down. Well, I'm guilty of that. I talk too fast. I say too much. But what I'm telling people is listen to their heart. Listen to the heart of what they're saying. You don't have to have exact notes on this because one, it's recorded, and go back and listen again. But take in what your heart can receive. Because just because you got the notes doesn't mean you're going to do it. Let the message get in the ears of your heart. Even Jesus said, let those who have ears, let them hear. He wasn't saying, who can hear me? He's saying, who can deeply hear me? And so anyway, and I've had several people say, they just go so fast. They go so fast. It's too much information. Please tell them to slow down. And I'm like, I'm not telling Bo Short anything on that. It's like, he's been doing this 37 years and has made millions of dollars. But more importantly, he has helped other people make more than millions of dollars. And we're the ones he's trying to help now. So he knows more about it than we do. I'll guarantee you. And, but anyway, so the calls, thank you for that. We feel the same way. Lisa and I look at each other after these freedom calls, and we're like, it's another Monday that we don't feel just absolutely exhausted. We feel energized, and we're on a lot of calls on Mondays.
It's a whole new feeling. I personally feel I take notes every time that those guys talk. We're learning a lot, really, for the first new information for the first time. One of the things I did ask for Shannon to do was to create some notes from the word tracks that Bo is recommending. So that's one thing that she's working on right now. So and so that's for you, Lorena, so that we'll have those word tracks in front of us. And, if you love to build businesses, then you'll be able to use Bo's scripting. If you just love sharing products, we have something else for you.
One of the other things that I love about it is they generally don't go past 9 o'clock. And so I really appreciate that. So tonight we're 3 minutes after 8. So we're going to shut her down.
Yep. So any other last comments, questions before we say goodnight? We're going to see you guys tomorrow night on the Freedom Call. And any last words? I appreciate you guys so much. Yes.
I know you got to say hi to Kim. Now, Stephanie, who was on here a little bit ago, she's a nurse. She had to jump off because she has to make her dinner, but they were both on here, and Mary is on here. So hopefully,
awesome, Lorena.
Thank you. And, things are.
Please apologize to Stephanie for us not recognizing her. Was it her first call tonight?
Yes. And she is actually Kim's sponsor.
Okay, gotcha.
So anytime you guys have somebody on that it's your first time, just don't interrupt somebody else. But if they're on early, make sure that that they're recognized. You guys take that responsibility and introduce them. So thank you. All right, guys.
One more thing.
Yes, Cindy Alvarado.
On behalf of all of us, thank you to the two of you for going to bat for us and getting us the things that we need to make this our businesses.
It's really important to you guys, and it's really important to us. So thank you for saying that. The next couple of weeks are really, really important. And, I think
it's really nice to know that somebody that is as successful as you guys are really has our back. We know you've got us.
I'm so glad you guys feel that, because honestly, the last 3 years have been hard for all of us, but we never, ever, ever doubted y'all's love for us and understood that so much of what we do together is because of the team that we have. We feel that responsibility and also the love.
Hopefully, when this goes through, that video that I sent to them from the presentation and spoke to just a few people the other night who frankly were a lot like everybody on this call. I mean, it's actually even further away from belief than y'all are. But I think some of the parts of that, not so much the structure, but some of the heart message of it that I basically was sharing with them, but I also was kind of like speaking to the industry and speaking to the company and saying, we got to do better. I mean, like, we got to do better for these people. We got to do better for the ambassadors. We got to make some changes. And so that was part, and I wasn't, I had to do it in the form of a presentation that's actually being delivered to the people out there instead of, anyway, I hope someday y'all get to see that video just as it was done. Because there was just, I had a lot of heart in it, a lot of my heart. And like I said, I recruited my wife. Now, you guys think I'm kidding? I mean, I really think for the business hope of the company, because she's never not believed in the products. But as far as the business, it's just been a struggle for people, for everyone to be able to make some money. And that maybe not where we are, but you can. But I'm just saying it needs to be, people need to make money. Because the message is too important for people to quit because they weren't making money. I mean, that's what's happened. So anyway.
Thank you, Cindy, for your sentiments.
Cindy.
I hope you guys know the depth of our love for you guys and how much we appreciate you guys riding out the most difficult years in Zalise, but the future is super, super bright.
Yeah,
So
you guys have carried us.
Y'all have carried
Y'all
us.
have carried us, and you don't even know how much you have. So
much love to everybody. You guys will see you tomorrow night on the Freedom Call. Thank you.